and I'm going to be the next speakers. And what I'm going to present is an attempt to provide a framework concerning state-of-the-art concerning the sensitivity uncertainty analysis in urban drainage modeling, trying to provide picture where we are and what could be some activity where we can put our efforts in terms of research and so on. I'm from Palermo University, that is in Italy, in the south part of Italy, to be precise. And here there is the outline of my presentation. I will discuss briefly the sensitivity uncertainty analysis with source and methods. Then I will move to integrated urban drainage model, what we consider with these terms. And I will present some results that we carry out in the last 15 years partially within the International Water Association working group with other models, and also with my group that been working in the last 15 years in this area. And then lastly, I will present an attempt to go beyond the integrated urban drainage modeling, and I will draw some conclusion. As most of you knows, regarding sensitivity analysis, we are seeing a very increase in terms of number of publication, number of studies related to different fields, going from hydrology, that probably is the field where we can see more studies according to this research that we carry out recently. And in urban drainage, there are only less studies related to the sensitivity analysis, in particular regarding the global sensitivity analysis, as I will discuss later. According to literature, we can identify two different sensitivity analysis methods, one that is more qualitative methods related to the scatter plot, then quantitative method that can be further divided in local sensitivity analysis, such as local derivative based, the so-called OIT, and global sensitivity analysis, where we can have, as some of you already know, we can identify screening methods such as Morris, or regression-based such as the SRC method, and variance-based methods such as Sobol or extended fast. So this provide a good picture related to what we have as methods in the sensitivity analysis. In 2015, with some colleague such as Peter Valorian, that was the first authors of this paper, we tried to provide an attempt to standardize the global sensitivity analysis method in terms of terminology. So first we consider a cutoff threshold, and we basically were able to identify only consider the sensitivity index, non-important factors and important factors. So important factors basically domain the model, and can be identified by using this cutoff threshold. That is something that of course is subjective, and if it's too high, then we cannot have a good screening of the model factors. So it's a sort of trade-off in order to provide two groups of important factors and non-important factors. Then we can have another types of classification terminology, where we define this time not only a cutoff threshold, but also this oblique line, where we have important factors, which are those factors having high sensitivity, at least higher than the cutoff thresholds. And then we can have those factors defined as interacting factors that have also not just high sensitivity, but sort of interaction higher, that basically are clustered this sort of cone that you can see in this picture. And then we have these other groups of factors that are called non-influential, that are defined as low sensitivity, but of course within these influential factors, within these non-influential factors, sorry, we can have also some factors that can be interacting, but we are not able to single out. So then we have this last classification where we define two cutoff thresholds. Both are again subjective, and we have one that is more related to the sensitivity and another one to the interaction. And according to this other classification, we can define important factors as the factors that are characterized by low interaction and high sensitivity. Then we have those parameters that are characterized in terms of high interaction, and we call interacting factors. And then non-influential factors that are those model factors that have low interaction as well as low sensitivity. And then we have the combination of interacting and important factors that are the so-called influential factors. So that are those model factors that should be considered in the application of parameters. So we trying to provide this first attempt to standardize this terminology, so the global sensitivity analysis terminology, that in order to avoid confusion as reported in the literature. Another aspect that we tried to focus on was the convergency analysis. In particular, in these results, picture, you can see some results related to the application of a model using different methods, SRC, Morris screening, and extend fast. And you can see different model output that are characterized by different complexity in terms of number of factors. What you can see from these results is that we have a very wide range of number of simulations that are required for achieving a convergency analysis. So the convergency analysis is very much related to the method, but also to the model that is applied in terms of number of parameters. These are further results showing you the concept that I just mentioned in the previous slides, where you can see that, for instance, in the case A, the three methods that we compared, the SRC, Morris screening, extend fast, provide the same results for a simple method. And then for a complex model, you can see that the three methods provide different studies. So to conclude, we can say that no ideal global sensitivity analysis methods exist for all case studies, as also reported by Pianosi et al. In 2016. Related to the uncertainty, so the uncertainty, we can find different definition in the literature. So we within the data models RWA working group, we define as any departure from the ideal of completely deterministic knowledge, and we assume that this is can be a three-dimensional concept where we have a level, a location, and the nature for the uncertainty analysis. Much more in details, we tried within the international working group on data models to provide for in the urban drainage system, to provide a proposal of a global assess of model uncertainty, and also an attempt to harmonize the concept and definition and protocols. We come up with a special issue that was published in Physics and Chemistry of the Earth, and within this special issue on the uncertainty, there is this paper that is named Assessing Uncertainty in Urban Drainage Models, where basically within this group of colleagues within the working group, we were able to identify three different types of uncertainty. So first of all, we have model input uncertainties, and then the calibration uncertainty reported in red, and then the model structure uncertainty. And we have the three different types of uncertainty basically have this overlap that are, of course, the model parameters. So within this this framework that we agreed on, and we trying to increase the consensus within the urban drainage models, we all agree that according also to Paul and Ramois, that not, of course, all uncertainty is quantifiable. So if we increase, we go from determinism to indeterminacy, we have then the total ignorance, that where we cannot quantify the uncertainty. And an important aspect that may require the computation, the quantification of uncertainty, is the choice of the model approach that should be balanced between the accuracy level and the number of parameters. And regarding the accuracy level, we have to consider, to take into account the lack of knowledge and more related to the sewer quality process that are more complicated within the urban drainage integrated approach. And also we have to face low level of over-parameterization and low degree of autocorrelation, possible compensation factor. Also an important aspect is that generally we do not have so many data concerning the quality respect to the quantity. So the situation is very much different from sometimes from the hydrology or other fields close to urban drainage. So uncertainty analysis, of course, as I said, can provide a solution for this issue that I just mentioned, and can help in getting knowledge on the source of errors, assessing the risk, and also try to help in gaining insight what kind of data we need to have a robust results from our model. And I will show you an example of this. But before going to this example, I would just to mention that, as some of you already know, we have these three types of uncertainty: structural, parametric, and input-output. And sometimes we can have a lumped uncertainty into model parameter uncertainty. And we can define, we were able to define two different types of uncertainty. One that is more related to based on the Bayesian theorem, where we have as a downside high data availability requirements, complexity of the methodology, and also there is a need of a priori knowledge of the error formulation. However, we have as upside that is a reliable uncertainty analysis, and whenever the goal is the parameter prediction, the approach is more efficient. On the other hand, we have these second types of uncertainty assessment, that is our so-called less formal uncertainty analysis, where basically upside, downside from the Bayesian theorem can be switched. So we have, of course, an easier and simple evaluation of the uncertainty in terms of modeling approach. So if the model is very much complicated, this can provide a first assessment, easy assessment of the model. So applying this concept that I just mentioned, we within this group of data models, we applied 4 different uncertainty methods that going from more related to formal uncertainty analysis, so based on the Bayesian theorem, and also we apply less formal uncertainty analysis, such as the global, the GLUE methodology, so global likelihood uncertainty estimation. And we use a different, so 4 different uncertainty methods and 2 model approach. One that was related to the quantity was simpler, and the second one related to the quality, that was more complicated and a little bit ill-posed. So you can see in the left sides the results that are related to the quantity, and on the right side the results related to the quality, as you are reported the data, the measuring data, and of course the uncertainty results in terms of bounds. As you can see from the results, we have more good results for the quantity and then less for the quality. So the conclusion from this extensive study was that basically the identification of the most appropriate method for uncertainty estimation is basically a trade-off between strong theory-based description, simplicity, and computational efficiency. Indeed, the four methods that we applied showed very different results in terms of computational efficiency. So this could be a bottleneck in the application of these uncertainty methods. And these results are much more are reported in details in this paper that, as I just mentioned, as first author Dotto published in Water Research. Regarding the propagation of model uncertainty throughout complex models in integrated urban drainage model, we made some exercise, some modeling approach where we wanted to get reply to these two questions. So what are the most significant important factors contributing to the uncertainty for integrated urban drainage model? And then how does the uncertainty to the data lacking affect the received water body results? So our final goal was to estimate the quality of the received water body. So how the data affect or may affect the results. We applied this integrated water quality urban drainage model that was developed around 15 years ago in 2006, and then we modified in 2015 for including some micropollutants such as the sulfametazole, and this model basically is made up by three submodels: one for the sewer system, another one for the wastewater treatment plant, and the last one for the seawater body quality. And we model both qualitative and quantitative process in dry and wet periods. We apply these methods basically to this experimental catchment close to Palermo in Sicily, where we have two different wastewater treatment plant and small city called Montelepre and Giardinello, where we have two sewer system and wastewater treatment plant. We considered different scenario. In particular, we considered scenario 1, where model factors of each subsystem were considered unknown. Then scenario 2 and 3, where model factors sewer system were considered unknown. And then scenario 4 and 5, where we varied basically the factors related to the wastewater treatment plant in order to see the effect of the uncertainty related more to the wastewater treatment plant. And then we carry out for the different scenario 500 Monte Carlo simulation per number of model factors. Here you can see a scheme of the analysis that we considered, where we have the two Montelepre and Giardinello and the different complexity for the uncertainty for scenario 1 and 2 and 3, and as I just mentioned in the previous slides. This is the picture about the scenario analysis with the model output. So we had 70 factors for the model output, 4 for the water treatment plant and 8 for the received water body. These were some of results that I'm just showing to provide an example how they looks like. So by applying this analysis, we were able, you can see here the final picture, we were able to basically identify the most important process and parameters, consider a different complexity of the data set, so a different number of data that we had in the different scenario. So we were able to gain insight also with respect to the propagation of the uncertainty analysis within the different subsystem of the integrated urban drainage model. So just before these are the reference that I just reported. Before concluding, because the time flies, I have only 1 minute, I would like to provide last efforts that we carry out within the data and models AWA group, where we included the greenhouse gas from the different subsystems, and this also increased the complexity of the systems. And within this within this data and models group, basically we thought to integrate, you can see in these slides, an outer cycle with detailed modeling approach, and then a simpler approach in order to fight the complexity of the system. Okay, these are the conclusion. The time is handed. So this is the paper that I just mentioned, and I would like to recommend, if you want to have more results on urban drainage modeling approach, this book that basically collect the last urban drainage model conference that was held in Palermo. Thank you very much for your attention. I don't know if there are any questions.